So, you're looking at Dubai's real estate market and you're staring down one of the biggest financial decisions you can make right now. Today, we're going to break down your 2025 mortgage choice. Are you going fixed, variable, or maybe something in between? Getting this right could literally save you a fortune, so let's jump right into the numbers.
First things first, you have to understand the scene. This market isn't just warm, it's absolutely white hot. Villa prices have shot up an incredible 22% in just the last year. That kind of explosive growth adds a ton of pressure to every single move you make.
And the sheer scale of it all, it's just staggering. In the first half of 2025 alone, we saw over 263 billion dirhams in real estate deals. This is not a market for sitting on the fence. It's a market that absolutely rewards a clear strategy and decisive action.
And that brings us to the real heart of the matter. Choosing your mortgage is no longer just some small financing detail. With stakes this high, it becomes a fundamental strategic decision that's going to shape the performance of your entire property portfolio.
So, this is where you come in. You're basically standing at a fork in the road with two main options. You can either lock in a fixed rate, or you can embrace the flexibility and the risk of a variable one. Let's break down what each of these paths really means for you.
On one side, you've got the fixed rate. Think of it as your fortress of predictability. Your payments are set in stone, which gives you incredible stability and, maybe most importantly, protects you from any surprise interest rate hikes down the line. Then you've got the variable rate. Now, this is your higher risk, higher reward play. Your payments could drop if rates go down, but yeah, they could also climb.
Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks. The numbers for late 2025 look like this. A 3-year fixed rate is sitting somewhere between 3.79 and 4.05%. The variable rate, which is tied to EIBOR, that's the Emirates Interbank Offered Rate, is hovering between 3.89 and 4.35%. Just look at how incredibly close those two ranges are.
And that right there is the big dilemma, isn't it? That gap is the narrowest it's been in 4 whole years. And what that does is it makes the choice way less obvious than it used to be. It forces you to look past the headline number and think purely about your own personal strategy.
Which, honestly, leads to the most important question of all. It's not about which rate is better, it's about which rate is better for you. And to figure that out, we've got to get personal and really dig into your investor profile.
So you have to ask yourself, who are you in this market? We can grade it down into 2 main types. Are you the legacy builder, someone who's focused on that long-term stability? Or are you the strategic flipper, chasing the biggest possible short-term return? Let's figure it out.
First up, you've got the legacy builder. This is the person who's in it for the long haul. They plan to hold on to their property for years, maybe live in it, maybe generate some steady rental income. For them, predictable cash flow is absolutely everything. They can't afford any surprises that might throw a wrench in their financial plans.
So what does that certainty actually look like? Well, on a 4 million dirham villa, a fixed rate locks your monthly payment in at about 16,800 dirhams. That number is not going to change. It doesn't matter what the market does or what the central bank does. That right there is peace of mind.
And then, on the other side of the coin, you have the strategic flipper. This investor has a totally different mindset. They've got a crystal clear exit plan, usually within 3 to 4 years. They are totally comfortable with the ups and downs of the market because they're betting they can get in, turn a profit, and get out before the winds change. For this kind of investor, a variable rate isn't just a loan, it's a strategic weapon. They can use it to capitalize on those really competitive off-plan developer deals. And since they're playing a short-term game, even a tiny dip in that EIBOR benchmark can mean huge savings, seriously boosting their final profit when it's time to sell.
Okay, but what if you're listening to this and thinking, I'm not really one or the other. What if you want that stability right now, but you also want some flexibility down the road? Well, there's a third path that's getting a lot of attention, the hybrid mortgage.
A hybrid mortgage is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. You get a fixed interest rate for an initial period, we're usually talking 3 to 5 years, and once that time is up, it automatically switches over to a variable rate.
Let's just walk through how this actually plays out. You lock in one of today's great fixed rates, giving you years of payment stability. Then, right around the 5-year mark, when a lot of analysts think rates might start to come down in 2027 or 2028, your mortgage converts. This gives you the chance to either ride those lower rates or refinance into a whole new deal. It's a really smart, calculated play.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. Now let's get super practical. This is your action plan, a simple checklist to help you make the right call for your exact situation.
All right, just think through these 4 questions. Number 1, are your mortgage payments going to be comfortably under 35% of your income? If the answer is no, you should really lean towards a fixed rate. 2, do you see yourself owning this property past 2029? If yes, fixed is probably your safer bet. 3, do you have enough cash sitting around to easily handle a 1.5% rate hike? If not, you should stay away from variable. And last one, do you have a rock-solid plan to sell within 4 years? That's a must-have for the variable path.
And look, if you're still not convinced this is a huge deal, just look at the potential swing here. On a 5 million dirham loan, the difference between a good rate scenario and a bad one over just 3 years, well, it could be as much as 500,000 dirhams. Running these scenarios isn't just a smart idea, it's absolutely essential.
At the end of the day, the mortgage you pick in 2025 isn't just a loan. It's a choice that's going to echo through your finances for years to come. So the only real question left is your strategy ready for it?